Try saying, I trust you, Jesus. Try saying that in response to whatever happens to you, if there is times, think about who I am and all my power and glory. Ponder also the depth and breadth of my love for you. This simple practice will help you see me in every situation, acknowledging my sovereign control over the universe. When events from this perspective, through the light of my universal present, fear loses its grip on you. Adverse circumstances become growth opportunities when you affirm your trust in me no matter what. You receive blessings gratefully, realizing that they flow directly from my hand of grace. Your continual assertion of trust in me will strengthen our relationship and keep you close to me. Peace and blessings. I'd like to acknowledgement to all of my new subscribers. Peace and blessings. Welcome to team and the new members. I appreciate you all for checking in, tuning in, and rocking with your boy this year. Happy New Year, 2026. We're 1 week into this new year. Today is the 7th. And I'm just doing a little catch up reading. The hardest part about miracles, making miracles, is staying true to what you believe in, the things that you desire. Your heart desires. Miracles are just things that happen without our control, without our acknowledgement. Basically, there are things that's happening, seen and unseen. It's things that we can't really put a label on, a topic on, a title on. Can't really describe what's going on in our life, but nevertheless, smallest things turn out to be the biggest things. One step at a time. Instead of praying for a miracle, we should be praying that we can be consistent and persistent with our goals. Our goals is what eventually turns our ordinary to extraordinary life events. You can achieve the victorious life through living in deep dependence on you. People usually associate victory with success, not failing or stumbling, not making mistakes, but those who are successful in their own strength tend to go their own way, forgetting about me. It is through problems and failure, weakness and neediness that you learn to rely on me. True dependence is not simply asking me to bless you with whatever you decide to do. It is coming to me with an open mind and heart, inviting me to plant my desires within you. I may infuse within you a dream that seems far beyond your reach. You know that in yourself you cannot achieve such a goal. Thus begins your journey of profound reliance on me. It is a faith walk, taken one step at a time, leaning on me as much as you need. This is not a path of continuous success, but of multiple failures. However, each failure is followed by growth, nourished by increased reliance on me. Enjoy the blessedness of a victorious life through depending your dependence on me. I am able to do far and beyond all that you ask or imagine. Come to me with positive expectations, knowing that there is no limit to what I can accomplish. Ask my spirit to control your mind so that you can think great thoughts of me. Do not be discouraged by the fact that many of your prayers are yet unanswered. Time is a trainer, teaching you to wait upon me, to trust me in dark times. The more extreme your circumstances, the more likely you are to see my power and glory at work in the situation. Instead of letting difficulties draw you into worrying, try to view them as setting the scene for my glorious intervention. Keep your eyes and your mind wide open to all that I am doing in your life. This is a constant reminder to me as well, Um, Life is intricate journey, nevertheless, as long as you keep on going, you stumble, you fall, you get back up, you try again. Life is about that. It's about trusting the process. And I heard this plenty of times, and it's something that I must remind myself of as well. Tackling goals, achieving goals, and setting new goals as well. It's not always an easy task, but it gets done nevertheless. Whenever we plan, we never seem to have those plans work out. Those plans always seem to go so much perfect when we add Christ within our life and within our plans, when we plan with Christ. It is impossible to praise or to thank me too much. As it is written, I inhabit the praises of my people. Sometimes your adoration is a spontaneous overflow of joy in response to radiant beauty of rich blessings. At other times, your praise is more disciplined and measured, an act of your will. I dwell equally in both types of praises. Thankfulness also is a royal road to draw near me. A thankful heart has plenty of room for me. When you thank me for many pleasures I provide, you affirm that I am God for whom all blessings flow. When adversity strikes and you thank me anyway, your trust in me and my sovereignty is a showpiece in the invisible realms. Fill up the spare moments of your life with praise and thanksgiving. This joyous discipline will help you live in the intimacy of my presence. Oh, it was a lot to spit out, but that was the reading for January the 7th, 2026, from the book of Psalms. This was inspired, the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 2, no, verse 3, and also the book of Psalms, chapter 146, verse 1 through 2. And last but never the least, this was inspired by the book of First Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 18. I never really read that book before, First Thessalonians, period. But this is the reading for today of January the 7th, written by Sarah Young, enjoying peace in his presence, Jesus calling. The hardest thing to do for me in life is to pick up my book, pick up my cross, and add Christ to my life, to start my day and end my day with Christ, as a sinner, just as a human being. I wouldn't say we're born sinners. We're born with the mindset of saying, we have these things in us. We have greatness in us as well. With that being said, my darker side usually is more active, I'll say. I have to be mindful of what I'm thinking. I have to be aware. I have to be alert. I have to be in the moment. I have to be present. Also, with that being said, it's about noticing what triggers my anxiety, what triggers my patience, what brings me to a lower state of mind to where my darker side wants to get out and have a little fun, meaning my sinful mind state. And I have to check that from time to time. This is about being accountable. I used to be in a mindset where, my darker side could come out, have fun, and it is what it is. We'll deal with whatever we deal with afterwards. But now that I'm a little bit older, a little bit more mature spiritually, um, I tend to take one extra moment to think about what I'm thinking about, and before I take any action on anything. And just having that simple practice allows me to have a little bit more emotional control and emotional intelligence, because something triggers me, I can recognize it, set it out, and set it straight right through the door, and I won't have to be impulsive, right? That's what being an emotional intelligent is being impulsive, allowing any and everything to provoke you in a reaction. And most of the times when you react in that sense, in that state of mind, you often regret the way that you act or the way that you engage with a situation. So this is how I practice mental health. I also advocate for mental health awareness as well, because spiritual life is no life without being conscious of the mind, and the mind is where the battlefield starts. For those of you who are conscious, those of you who are spiritual, or those of you who are not conscious or spiritual, the battle of the mind is ever going on, going and present for those of you who know or don't know. And what I mean by this, for those of you who don't know, self talk, self care, whenever you talk down to yourself, this is a battle of the mind. Sin is just being in a state of unhappiness. Whenever you commit a sin, you're unhappy because you have consequences to deal with, whether you're a liar, you're a thief, whether you're a murderer, whether whatever, right? All sins are looked at as the same. No sin is greater than the next. That's why it's not our place and position to judge someone for their flaws or mistakes. Even if they continuously do the same thing, repeated behavior is a choice at this point. It's why a lot of people are not accountable because they're going to say you sorry and they're going to repeat the same behavior. There's no change, there's no accountability. But anyway, by picking up my cross, meaning by just keeping Christ in my mind and his word, it gives me a second chance to think about what I'm thinking about and if my ways are aligned with Christ. And therefore, you could easily adjust the way you're thinking. Being holy doesn't mean being perfect, it doesn't mean being uh, flawless. It just means being set apart from the world. The way that you think is being different from the world. The same way that they killed Jesus for being different from the world, and the majority of his disciples from being different from the world, the way that they thought was totally different. That's what set them apart from the world. That's what made them holy people. So whenever you hear someone say practice holiness or they're trying to be holy, all they're simply saying is they're trying to change the way that they think from the way of the world. And whenever you align your minds and whenever you start agreeing with the world and thinking like the world, you should know that there's a big red flag because the way to hell is a big wide open door. The way that everybody is going with um, social compliance, meaning basically the blind leading the blind, you following the leader. It's a lot of different terminology and words that they use as far as this type of action. And what I call it is social compliance. It's kind of like at school. I'm pretty sure that we all have experienced this from one point in time or another, where school starts and the principal gets on the intercom and everybody stands up, putting their hearts hands over their hearts doing the pledge of allegiance, right? You pledge allegiance to the flag. That's social compliance. Whenever that bell ring, whenever that time comes, we all know what's finna go down. We all finna pledge allegiance to the flag. Same thing with a church. When you go to church and it's time to pray, everybody in the building know what to do. Or a library, you know certain rules and regulations. This is social compliance. Certain places, certain titles, they have these things set in place so that you can know how to act. You can know how to engage with these buildings and with the people inside, the people that have those titles as far as the principal, the admin, or whatever, right? Titles, places, things. It just gives us a way and a little bit of information on who you are and what building we are and what type of activities are being done in this function, in this facility, right? What's really hard is just being true to yourself. Like I say, I'm coming in this year sober, and that was a lie. I want to stop smoking cigarettes and weed, but it's a battle, you know. If I'm not going to be real with myself, I can't be real with my goals. And the first thing first is, why do I smoke? This is me talking to me, just in case anybody. So what I need to figure out is what causes me to smoke. Well, I got to start writing this stuff down. Like, okay, this moment I feel like smoking. Why am I feeling like this? What just occurred for me to feel this way? And why do I want to run to this? What not, right? So this is how you need to be speaking on me as well. How you got to be real with yourself so that you can accomplish your goals. And once I accomplish those goals, as hard as it may seem, that will be a miracle to me because it's something I truly desire and it's something I have to work on. But the truth of it all, the matter of the fact is, I'm comfortable with the way that I deal with certain stress and anxiety, so this is why I do that. But if I do truly desire to be sober and soberly thinking for however long I can do it, it's just about keeping that in my mind on why do I want this to be a part of my reality? What's it going to do for me, and what can I change as far as not being able to have this device be so easily to go to, right? When God blesses you with something, if you don't use it, you lose it. Just like with language, right? I forget some English words when I'm not practicing Spanish, and I get caught up and mixed up with some Spanish words when I'm not practicing Spanish, and vice versa. I meant to say when I'm not really speaking English a lot. So when you don't use it, you lose it. And also, I find myself with my drawings, right? I just drew something. Let me show you. I think I showed y'all already, but fine. Like you might like it. I don't. It is what it is. As an artist, I do critique my own work. Probably can't see it. Yeah. But like I haven't drew in a while. I've been painting for like almost a year now. And I just realized like, wow, I can do a little bit better with the lines and stuff like that. Like I'm not too happy with this. But I haven't lost my skill completely. It's a little raggedy, I'll say. It's a little bit um it's a little bit cold. I had to warm my skills up. I got a lot of different projects I'm working on. I would love to present to you guys within this next week or so. Today is Wednesday. Feliz Marcoles. Feliz Ano Nuevo. Happy New Year. Happy Wednesday. Come on, Tavia. How's it going, everyone? I'm just here to put positive vibes out into the universe. By doing so, I read from my daily book of inspiration that we was just reading from. Is a page of inspiration for each day of the year. My goal is to present to you all some motivation and inspiration for each day of the year. I'm human. I will make mistakes. I will not be present as much as I would like to. But that's, me working on me showing up for myself. Whenever I do this, my time used to be at 10 o'clock, but the devil was busy. So it's like the 10 o'clock hour came and went. Now that people know that I do it at 10, I get so many calls, so many distractions, so much of shit that I just like, fuck the whole 10 o'clock thing. I'm going to do it whenever I do it, just to keep something going for myself without the extra activities that goes on. And it's just me pivoting. It's not me stopping or giving up, because at the end of the day, like, even when I'm doing art, I used to go to the library just to draw, just to study, just to do whatever, right? When God was creating the universe, he didn't have a bunch of motherfuckers in his face and his ear. The distractions, he was able to create in peace. And that's the same way it is with me. Like, I like to have my peace when I create. Kind of like Jay-Z said, like, I need the space and the time to write, if ever I write. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why he was basically insinuating that he freestyle his songs, because he don't have the space and the time to write, to create the lyrics that he would like to create. But anyway, with that being said, it's just about, finding your happy place. For me, it's creating. And that doesn't mean that I'll be able to create. I'll be able to create whenever I feel like. That's why I'm always talking about vibes and energy. I pursue happiness. This is what I do each day. I attain it from time to time, and I try to maintain it as long as I can. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be happy the duration of the day. It just means that I've attained that goal, I've achieved that goal, and I'm trying to live in those moments as long as I can to stretch it out. You feel me? Like, if you got some nice food, you want to savor, you want to enjoy those moments, right? That's exactly what I do with my happiness. Happiness is the pursuit of. If you're not pursuing it, you won't experience it. A lot of people want happiness, but they don't want to work towards it. Or when they experience a little bit off of someone else, they don't want to maintain it. You got to maintain the vibes. That's why by doing so, I choose to do this every day. I read from my daily book of inspiration. What better vibe is it to get from someone more positive than someone who give their own life for us to have an extra life? This physical realm, this physical world is not all that there is. It's not all that there will be. And the way that I talk about Christ, the reason why is because I want to know who my creator is. I want to meet my creator face to face, and I want to see my creator created in his glory. And also, I want to stand side by side my creator and create as well. We are co creators with Christ, and we are more than conquerors through Christ. And it's like, yet and still, we forget who we are, we forget what we're capable of. So, therefore, we live miserable lives, not in true power, not in true glory, not even in understanding of what we are capable of. And that's why I advocate for mental health awareness, because those where those thoughts come from our adversary. These spirits that people like to tap into. They like to say, just go grab you an Orisha, go grab you Osiris or Zeus or whatever, right? Everybody and everything other than Christ Jesus, who won spiritual realm to us and told us about it in first of all, first place, right? I'm not here to convert anybody or anything, right? You gotta choose who's gonna save you, and you gotta stick with. You gotta know God for yourself. Whether it be Buddha, Allah, or whoever or whatever. I don't know. I honestly could care less because I know where my power comes from and I know how to tap into spiritual power. Therefore, I just move by example. I live by example. And if those of you want to know, I could share what I know with you. You know what I'm saying? Like we can study the Bible, we can study together, but I'm not here to make anybody a believer of anything because I don't believe in anything. I know, and what I don't know, I don't believe. It is what it is. I'm not sitting here trying to live a fairy tale life. I don't believe in a lot of things because I just don't. I don't know it to be true. I don't know it to be an experience in my life. I don't know anything about this stuff. I'm blind to it, deaf to it, and now all the above. The only way to really know something is to figure things out. That's the beauty of having a mind to use your mind. And man perish because they lack knowledge. They don't know how to learn. They don't want to learn, and if they don't, they think they know everything. So it's hard for them to observe and obtain new information. Their point of view is skewed. They don't have any other way to look at the world than the lenses that they view it through. And those people are quite hard to reach because they got it all figured out. It's hard to talk to these people. They know everything, and their hearts are very hardened when it comes to certain things. It's just like Pharaoh when Moses basically like God in your face telling you like cut the nonsense out and see what true power I have. I know you tapped into something that you think is nice, but at the end of the day, like I'm the one giving them power, right? And for you to test me, and I'm not saying me personally, but as far as God, the way I would look at it, right? Like look at it like this: we creators, right? Just like you can mold some clay, you can make a cup, you can make a bowl, you can make whatever with your hands, whatever your mind is creative to think about. But anyway, let me just keep it basic, right? So for those of you who draw stick figures, imagine you drew 5 to 4 people, they come to life, you breathe a little life into them, you give them stuff to be sustained, you give them a garden, you have trees, you have a lake, you have a waterfall, you got something to drink, you got something to eat, and the animal's not worried about killing you or nothing like that. They are vegans, they eat the grass and everything, right? A smooth, perfect situation. Your baby to the spiritual world, you don't know anything about sin, you don't know about murder, you don't know about these wickedness, right? Because I haven't taught you these things. But yet and still, figure out some way to destroy each other and to destroy the little platform I made for you to sustain yourself. You cut down the trees, you take the seeds out of the fruit, you start doing all of this stuff, right? Now you need my help to be sustained because you're basically effing up everything that I created for you to sustain yourself and to be multiplied in this little area that I created for you so that you can multiply and create more, right? It's no difference. It's the same way that God did with us. He created us and we came out to be something he regretted. That's why he ended up flooding the earth because he looked at his creations and he was upset. He was like, wow, they having sex with the angels. The angels doing too much. It's just too much going on. I created the angels. They want to disrespect. They creating abominations. Now everybody know about the things of this world that they weren't supposed to know about, like makeup, astrology, uh, how to build weapons, different things that us men kind know that we learn from the spiritual realm of the angels that God created that was mad at him, that went and did their own thing and start corrupting creation. So I just said that to say this, like, no matter what the story is, no matter how the story was told, at the end of the day, for those of you who have eyes to see and ears to hear, those of you who have a mind that you think for yourself, you could just look out into the universe and see that somebody had cared enough for us for all of this stuff to be in place. We don't have to really do anything but live and to die, experience what we experience here and now, learn what we can here and now, and take that information with us to wherever we go afterwards. Reincarnation could be real, it could be fake, but at the end of the day, what I think in this for entertainment purposes as well is about like how do some people come here with certain gifts and some come without, right? Like I know how to draw, I'm an artist just by my DNA is within my system. It's like I've been an artist every year, not every year, but every lifetime, may I say, because it's in my DNA, and I'm pretty sure I have other skills and talents that I could just naturally do. That there, just saying that, and it makes me think like, if I did have memory of every lifetime, or even if I meditate deeply, I can see like certain lifespans that I have lived before, different people that I may have been. Um, Even this current life experience, the things that I'm interested in, the things that I go learn, that's becoming better than my DNA and who I am, right? Once I'm done with this body experience, everything that I've learned will be still within my spirit, within my DNA. So the next lifetime that I will have all of this information that's already in me, plus the new information that I'm putting inside myself. So if you think about it and you look at it, it's like this, right? It takes 2 weeks to form a new habit. And with that new habit, that's something new that's a part of you. You could basically say that's a part of who you are, it's a part of your DNA. Just like if you go lying for a week or two, now you're going to do it so naturally that it becomes who you are. You're a liar now. It's in your DNA. It's just something that you do naturally. And that's just, a small thing that people tend to overlook, right? People are not born to lie, but they learn how to do it and they continuously do it until it becomes a part of who they are, part of their character. Just like a thief or a mass murderer, right? Like I was just watching something with um it's a few guys back in the days, they before my time, but I do like to hear history and different names and stuff like that, right? But anyway, I want to say his name Benny the Bull. It was a lot of Italians back in the days, like the early 1900s, the 20s, 30s, or whatever. But anyway, a lot of the immigrants, they come from Italy to Chicago and to New York. And basically, like how they do Mexicans nowadays when they come here and they're trying to get established or whatnot, people treat them differently. Just like ICE is out here, they always after these colored people and a little lighter people, right? But anyway, the Italians, they had it rough, just like a lot of people have it rough when they go to a new area and they're trying to get established and whatnot, learn the laws of the land and the layout of the land and all of this and that. The guy, he grew up rough. He was the oldest of three kids, single parent mom. The mom was, she used to beat on the boy, I guess, because for whatever reason. Then she giving him big old clothes to go to school, and they talking about the boy. And talk starting to go to fist fights. Niggas gonna box it out. They're not gonna do too much talking. At least I don't. And a lot of guys, I know, I don't know. Maybe you a fighter, maybe not. I grew up in the '80s. We fight, but anyway, that talking turned to fist fights, and he got tired of it. Going to school with big old clothes. You gotta grow into them because that's how it is when you grow up in poverty. If some of y'all grew up middle class, lower class, you will know that we live pretty ghetto. We had to do a lot of things to survive and to maintain, but it is what it is, right? Our parents did our best, did their best, and we do our best. For those of you who care about the kids or whatever, right? Anyway, long story short, he knew one of the guys that was picking on him from school, so he seen him going across the courtyard. He took and I'm not promoting violence, so please don't take this the wrong way or get any ideas. But by all means necessary, do protect yourself. But the way to protect yourself is not to put yourself in harm's way, first and foremost. And second of all, the way to win the battle is to not even battle at all. You got to be smart when it comes to war. Let somebody talk shit. Let them have it. But anyway, back to the story, right? I'm just giving you guys a warning. I'm not here to tell you guys to do anything that get you guys in trouble. Don't go out here hurting anybody. Don't go get hurt by anybody. Just telling a story for entertainment purposes. He grabbed a little thing out the closet, the little rod or whatever. He beat dude to death. He goes to the window. He see the body there, or whatever. Police ain't never doing it. They clean the mess up, or whatever. Chop the body, or whatever. So he said from that day on, he realized the deal. His problem was to just the, unalive people. He been doing it ever since. But anyway, mental health, right? Um, he was suffering in silence, And a lot of times, a lot of people do this, and it leads to worse situations. I don't even know how we get into this, but we're gonna keep it going. Um, he ended up passing away in prison. But anyway, what's his name? Benny the Bull. I think his name was Benny, and I'm kind of mixing up a few different people. This guy was actually from New Jersey. Um, the dude that I'm talking about from Chicago, the Italian, he was Sammy. His name was Sammy the Monster or something like that. His story is similar to this other guy I'm talking about. He uh he was poor. They came over here, immigrants. So they started this thing with the fedora hats, the white fedora hats. They was called the 42. And before I even get into his story, it just makes me think like, people put time, energy, and effort into committing crimes and doing stuff like that, right? They use their creativity to come up with gangs and groups, different little communities or organizations and stuff like that, right? Which is not a bad idea, depending on what you're doing in that organization and how you guys contribute to the community and society, right? um, they choose to do wrong. They choose to. We all live in poverty from time to time, and this is the thing about choosing Christ, right? How He provides for us. A lot of people, they suffer. They don't know God for themselves, so they need to go to church to hear other believers, and that's the thing. That's what's wrong about being amongst believers, right? Nobody know anything for a fact. That means nobody has no personal relationship with God. They just believe in what they believe in, which turns into customs. And customs usually turn into traditions, right? Just like these holidays we celebrate, they're all traditions. Nobody really knows why they celebrate them or where this the history of these traditions come from. They just believe that this is what should be done on this certain day and this certain way. It's a tradition, right? It's what they believe, but nobody actually really knows the origins of what's going on. That's why a lot of people stop celebrating holidays because they don't know and they want to know the facts of what they're involved in. Some people they look at it however they look at it, but you can be partaking in rituals and not knowing because you believe you're doing something that's supposed to be done, right? Just like with Christians, they do rituals as well, like first Sunday communion. Cannibalism, you eating the body, you drinking the blood, that's cannibalism, but that's what they do on the first. The first of every Sunday, I believe. I haven't been to church in a while, but this is a custom, it's a ritual that they do. Baptism, it's a subliminal act of rebirth. It's a ritual that people do usually on the first Sunday. I used to open up for churches, so I know when I was just reading about this, like provoking the Holy Spirit, calling the Spirit, we do that a lot. I know how to get the Spirit up in the place. So my thing was this, right? Growing up a preacher kid, my father, Baptist minister, then he went to Church of God of Christ, something like that, or maybe the other way around. I don't really know, But I was there for the bishop in Alabama and Birmingham, and the whole ordained thing. So I seen them be ordained in uh, Birmingham, Alabama, when we was down there at the time. But before that, we ran a church in Chicago on the west side. Um, my dad had me open up the church. So what I do is start off with a verse from out the Bible. I like to read from Psalms 100 or 23. Powerful, powerful passage. And it's like 23. Um, Yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, or fear no evil? But I ride thy staff that comfort me. They prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. I will fear no evil. And that's a real powerful verse that I use whenever I'm incarcerated, whenever I'm sick and shut in. I haven't been in the hospital in a long time. The last time I was in the hospital was because I got into a fight with my girl. I had a gash in my eye. So this is the first time I ever had blood in my eyes. It's real cold, liquid, real oily as fuck. And I'm trying to drive, and I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't even really see. It's just cold and wet and oily. So I pull over to the side to clean up myself or whatever, or at least I try. I go to the hospital and go to jail from there. They was like, you talk to the police, and I'm so honest. I say no. They, yeah, we was looking for you anyway. Clip him to the bed, stuck. They, yeah, we bring him with us or whatever. But yeah, it was like it was crazy, man. Like just I don't know. I'm starting to think about a lot of stuff. I've been through a lot in my life. Um, but yeah, just like not having Christ in my life, like I've been through a lot, hard times, dark times, and one of those times, a lot of those times, I always call Christ. I don't. I just go straight to that quote because um, walk through the shadow of the valley of death. It's been a lot of times where saved by nothing but God's grace. In harm's way, walking through danger. Um, just a lot of times, like just going about your regular day life and you around death. People want to kill you. People want to threaten your life. If you ever experienced that, I don't pray that on nobody. It's kind of wild. It's crazy. It's like Russian roulette. But you know, option to play this game. You're just in it. Hoping you're gonna survive, right? That shit crazy. But yeah, that verse has been keeping me. My ancestors, my grandmother, and them prayed that prayer. That verse is a prayer as well. And it covers lineage, covers you, covers your kids, your grandkids, and generations. That's the only reason that a lot of us are still here because of our parents praying for us, our grandparents, their parents, and prayer does work. The thing about it is that you have to know God for yourself. And you have to be true. Like you can't finesse God like you can finesse these deities and these different little whatever y'all be calling up to, right? When people be doing what they be doing. I don't know. I don't really care. But the thing about it is like people do have they get the answers they're looking for. That's why they do what they do. Um it's not no plaything when people tap into the spiritual realm. And that's why alchemy is so important. Not even important, but why it's a thing. Why black magic, white magic, all of this stuff is a thing because you, whether you know it or not, you can manipulate energy. This is alchemy. That's magic. Manipulating energy, manipulating someone's free will. It's so easily done. You can do it easy. It's just like people who don't think for themselves. You can easily put the strings to them and use their body to do your will. And a lot of people that don't think for themselves, this is who the devil likes to attack because they're drifters. Their mind drift here and there, and they only get in life what life hands to them. They're not go getters. They're not determined. They don't live with passion. They don't have purpose, and that can easily be changed. But they're so far gone drifting that 9 times out of 10 they don't usually wake up unless God's really putting them in a situation to get their attention, which he's always doing. But a lot of times they're so lost in the world that they don't really hear God because God is their distraction to the worldly things that they're so focused on. And the crazy part about that is sometimes the only way God to get your attention is by bringing you home. Not everybody has that almost died story, near death experience, or they sit in jail for a while and they get to think about what they're doing, where their life going, and where their life is headed, and whatnot. And or in the hospital where they get to think about, who is the author of their story, who is their healer, who is their lawyer, who is their doctor, and stuff like that. Jesus is always calling. That's why I read this book in particular and why I like it so much because like I was saying, whenever you agree with the world, you should know that that's a red flag, that you're headed the wrong way. The way to heaven is narrow and short. It actually takes some effort to get there. And whenever you're not guarding your mind, like I talk about drifters, the devil is easily keeping you distracted with sex, money, the next big thing. 50 Cent said, the idol worshiping. It'll keep you distracted with drug abuse, With all these type of things, right? These are the thoughts that comes to the mind of the drifters, even those who don't drift. For those of you who don't drift, you catch these thoughts as well, but you simply block them and you replace them with something else. This is what I was meaning by self-talk as well. Like, the way that you talk to yourself is important. Self-care. A lot of people be like, oh, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, this, I'm that. I never speak on myself like that. If I did, I don't do it anymore because that's not the way that I want to train my spirit, nor do I want to train myself, and nor are these thoughts true. So I had to rebuke them and replace them with something different and something greater. Like, I am a conqueror. This day has been trying for me, but I've had worse there, and I will make it through this as well. Self talk like that. I don't do anything other than lift myself up and be positive to myself. People will think like, "Oh, you're really positive," but it's my choice. I choose to be this way. Just like you could choose to be mad all day and be ignorant, whatever, right? That's your choice. But just know that when you use energy to engage in that activity, you don't have any fresh energy to use to be productive and to create the life that you truly desire to experience. And that's why I'm so big on energy, because you use your energy up. Like, you might have a battery, right? Say for instance, you got two of these. These are two batteries that works an hour a piece. Now, you want to use one battery to go ahead and get your dreams and goals in place, and you want to use the other battery to reserve this battery, meaning you don't want to spend time using too much energy entertaining negative, meaning negative music, negative talk, negative people, negative places, all of those things. Because once you put a little bit of energy into it, it's just draining you, right? You can't replenish to go put it in things that's important, like protecting your mind. You don't have any energy to do so. You're procrastinating because your energy is gone. You don't feel like doing anything because all of the energy you use was to negativity, which produces nothing but more negativity. So, what I like to say is, where the mind goes, the attention goes, and energy goes as well. Meaning, you're spending a lot of your time thinking about gossip, right? Your attention is focused on who's talking about who, what 50 Cent just said. Now your energy is spending more time looking into this and combating on what he said or what he didn't say. And you're putting a lot of energy into some nonsense, right? In the division, which is not what the Lord asks us to do. And therefore, now you're done with all of this, right? You think, oh, now I got some time and energy to go ahead and make my dreams come true, but you're going to stall it out because of the energy that you need is now wasted on what you just done. And you're like, well, I'll do it tomorrow because I need to replenish my energy. I need to recalibrate my mind. And then as soon as tomorrow comes, the devil hits you with that, oh, here go the latest for 50 Cent again. Guess what this person said about 50, or whatever it is that you choose to focus on, like you did the previous day that you think you would change up for the next day. This is what I mean by the battle of the mind. You're not exempt from it. I'm not exempt from it. We all have different distractions or disturbance that weighs on our mind that takes our time and attention. And for most people, that's what they think about throughout the day. They wake up on that, they end the day on that, and that's what it is. And that goes year and year and year, just like a toxic relationship, right? You wonder why people put up with the shit for so long, or why they be in it for so long. These are worldly ways of thinking, and then these are worldly situations that people be stuck in, and they can't really help but be in it until God hit them with something drastic, just to get their attention again and let them know, like, who the Son set free is free indeed. If you choose to be tied down by this negativity, then you will be. If not, then we're going to help you, we're going to walk with you, and we're going to make sure that you stay free, you stay a testimony that you could tell other people how to become free, right? So this is important to me and why I speak on mental health awareness, because it's not just about um, physical things like being laced with drugs or having a bad day. It's that, as well as the spiritual attacks like smoking the cigarettes that'll cause you to procrastinate, un uh, unaccountable desires. People, we all have desires, but when you're not disciplined with your desires, guess what? You overindulge in something, and that something turns into something worse. You can overindulge in food, eating all these snacks and sweets. Now you got diabetes, or You got high blood sugar, you know what I'm saying, or low blood sugar. Now your ass got to take shots, or maybe the food that you're eating gave you the big C word. You know how they do in America. All our food is hit or miss. It's a mystery pack. You can over engage and overindulge in sex, and you catch that package. You know, it's about being disciplined, but more so from being disciplined, it's about being mindful and being accountable. Because it didn't happen to somebody so fast, it doesn't mean it won't happen to you. Just because it happened to you doesn't mean it won't happen to, to each his own. But this is what we open ourselves up to when we don't guard our minds, or we don't guard the things that we think about, when we just be unaccountable, and we don't be disciplined with our desires, right? And that's what I noticed myself slipping into. Like, the hardest part is just being true to yourself. And also by keeping God in your life. Like, Lord, I know through you it's possible that I can live this reality that I desire. And not only that, that it's something that's a virtue, is worth me pursuing, right? Just like happiness and patience. Patience don't just come to people. You have to practice patience. Whenever you have a moment to be patient, you're practicing it. And therefore, the more you do it, the better you become and the more equipped you will be at having patience, right? Like, I pray for patience. So now I be in, not now, but I used to be in every situation that possible that requires me to be a little patient. Even now to this day, I still have that prayer that I prayed for years ago for it to be in place, right? And that's the thing too about trusting God. Like, I know that it's possible for me to have more, for me to experience more, for me to be what I want to be. But the thing about it is, if I'm not mentally prepared and ready, God won't allow it for me. No matter how much I throw a fit about not having what I want, I'm just not ready. And I would be mad at God if He was to give it to me and it was to not be managed correctly and taken away. And God already knows that. And He's like, that won't help me help you having faith in me, right? Just like when you were in a relationship, you want your partner to trust you. You won't put your partner through situations to where they looking at you crazy, like, hey, it is what it is. And I thank God for that all the time. Even when this year was ending, not this year, but this 25, and I was like, man, I'm unhappy with certain things, but not happy that, not unhappy that I lack. I'm unhappy that I'm not ready to receive. And that's what really hurt my feelings. Like, man, I think I would thought that I was ready to receive my $1 million. I would thought that I had the mindset to take care of it, to be the person I need to be with it, right? But it's just like, no, you're not ready. And to get ready, you need to get ready. So I got to be more serious. I got to be more more proactive, right? Just like I was saying, it's a hard thing to do. Is to stay true to what you know to stay true to. The miracle is just to follow through with my goals, no matter what distractions. That's why it was hard for me to even do this video, because, like, I'm a human being. My darkest side is to go be dark, and that's, we were born in this dark world, right? That's basically what our influences are, always heavy on us, heavy on the mind, on the darker things of this world, to be like this world, go have pleasure, go be pleasured, and just that. But with that comes responsibility, and with responsibilities comes accountability. You can't be Superman if you're not going to be accountable. Like, he's not walking around lasering eyes everybody whenever he sees something that upsets him. He's controlling his temper, just like Batman. He's not going around whooping everybody ass. If he ain't seen that signal to call, he not on your ass. Or just like Spider-Man, right? When his senses go off, he could choose to be, all right, I'm just gonna let it happen, whatever happened. But he be on justice. He goes swift right over there and gonna tackle that. That's the same thing with us as human beings. We gotta have discernment on when to be partaking in certain stuff and when not to, right? Not every time your bat signal is calling you to go hop in somebody's business. Your spidey senses ain't telling you that this person is a good person or not. And these things only work when you have a clear mind and when you're happy with yourself. Whenever I'm happy with myself and I got a clear mind, I'm not worried about these worldly things. I'm able to use my spiritual gifts to guide me to having a better physical life. And these things go hand in hand, physical and spiritual, and vice versa. Some things happen in the spirit before it happen in the physical. Some things happen in the physical before it happen in the spiritual. For those of you who have the gift of discernment, the gift of clairvoyance, some of those you know how to interpret dreams. You know exactly what I'm talking about, you know. And for those of you who don't know if you have any gifts or you don't uh, know how to use your gifts, you just spend time praying, you know, spend time talking to your creator just like I spend time talking to you all. It's no different. The way that I talk to God, the way that I talk to you is my personal relationship though, you know. It's how I know God. I spend time getting to know God. The things that I don't know, I spend time in meditation. I spend time alone, you know. A lot of people not happy with themselves. That's why they can't spend time alone. And that's a dangerous thing when you're around somebody who don't even like being around themselves. Those type of people will drain your energy. And I'm big on that, you know, like reading people. A lot of people will like to just be in your mix. And I call them people discerning spirits. Is like, what is you doing? What is your purpose in life? You know, whenever you got time to be in somebody else's business, you got too much time on your hands. To be honest, like I'm not that serious, but at the same time, I'm not no joke either, right? Like life is so much more than just a game to be played. So many people lose their lives so quickly and not leaving no type of legacy behind because they don't have any seriousness to life. A lot of people here one day and they're going the next. So you never knew they existed because they're not living their purpose. And a lot of people can't live their purpose because they're too busy following behind the world. You know, they don't even know who they are as an individual, even though we have a collective mind. I use my collective mind to tap into these thoughts. Whenever I have them, I hop on them because, like Michael Jackson said, if he don't go ahead and write that song that's in his mind, then Prince going to do it. And that's what I mean by the collective thought, right? Like nothing new under the sun. I might do something that you are doing. You might do something I'm doing, but none of us are the creators. We're just using that creative thought at the time to bring this back into the collective. So with that being said, right, like the picture I just showed y'all, somebody else drew that. I just redrew it. And it could have been AI, I don't know. But the picture that I copied it from, I seen it on a picture on the wall, a picture of a picture that was on the picture. If it makes sense, right? Like if you look at capture this with me, you might draw this or that over there, right? You might draw better than what it looked like on here. You might even draw me, and you're just recapturing something. It's the same thing that I do. That's the type of artist I am. I can recapture something. The things that I used to draw offhand was like I can still do letters and faces and whatnot, but whatever. But I used to be really good at drawing like swords and dragons, and yeah, I used to draw swords and dragons for some reason. Really good at them too. So I stopped doing that for whatever reason. I stopped drawing in pencil as well because I had a whole folder of my drawings. And this girl, I'm not gonna say her name, but she stole my folder on my drawings, and I didn't know who or where my work was at until like a week later. I didn't see her with the folder, but she had one of my drawings, and she erased my name at the bottom and put her name. But I didn't really care. Like you, that obsessed with my work to go put your name down and go tell people you drew it. That let me know that I'm good, and it also let me know that people admire my work. But I was kind of sad and salty that somebody would steal my work. But it was like this is in me, not on me. You know, for you to imitate me, you would have to be me. You could go trace all of these things that I drew, but at the end of the day, you can't recreate what I've created because I'm the originator. And at the end of the day, that just inspired me to be a little more smarter and to stop drawing with pencil because your ass can't erase pen. So I started doing that, and I've been doing it ever since. But that's a little reason why, if you ever ask me like why I don't draw a pencil, that's because I'm not giving you guys the opportunity ever again to erase my name off of my work. And ever since that happened, nowadays I draw for free for people. Like if you want something, I'll draw for you. But I'm not taking requests, just to let you know. I do it like quite often, but I'm not on that right now. And then, like a lot of people like my help for free, but I am a paid personal consultant. So, if you want to go around me, then do that. I'm not a fool. I'm not stupid. And I like to allow people to do what they do, right? Let them expose their hand Because people love to play with you, right? Like just because I'm doing something that you don't want to see me succeed and you would, instead of using my services, try to play with me, ask me little questions to get the information you need, and or just to use my time and energy, whatever, right? But you will see somebody else doing the exact same thing and you'll go ahead and pay them no problem. So I had to fall back on the way that I deal with people because I had that situation going on, and it always goes on, even with digital marketing. A lot of people, they didn't want to work with me. They was also on my live and on my videos and comments and whatever with little rebuttals like, "Hey, why don't you do this? I want you to do that," or worried about how much money I'm making doing this, doing that, right? And what's crazy about that is, I started back in 24th of August, mid last year. I see a whole bunch of motherfuckers. Oh, I got products. I got content creator. Woo, 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 all of this stuff, right? Like funny as hell. Like little do y'all know, digital marketing is content creating. If you're an influencer, you're basically selling yourself, right? You're selling your videos. You're selling whatever you have online. Basically, your personality. So I'm like, a lot of y'all just trying to laugh at me doing digital marketing, but here y'all go doing the exact same thing, but don't know how to do it. Or looking at me like, hey, I could do that and do it way better. And come to find out that you need a lot of help, right? The way that I do this and the way it looks so easy is because I've been doing it and I'm still doing it. I'm been perfecting my craft. I didn't just learn how to do this shit. I've learned how and I've been doing it. I'm a year in doing it. Also, before I even really knew what I was doing, I was still posting and stuff like that, right? So this wasn't no overnight thing for me. I had to learn how to learn to be coachable. Like I say, I wasn't coachable at first. That's why it took a long time for me to even get rolling. But besides that, I had a lot of people wanting to jump on my wave and, you know what I'm saying, like try to take my work and twist it and do all this and do all that. I see a lot of people be watching, then all of a sudden they go run and do their little thing, which I'm not mad at all. I'm just amazed at how people like to fake fuck with you, right? Like I ask them for help or I ask them to collab or whatever, right? Just to find out they're doing the exact same thing I'm doing, but without me. And then a little bit down the line, they want to come holler at me like, "Hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that," like I'm a fool, right? Like I don't know. Or if we making plans together and then you go run off and do it. So I'm like, yeah, y'all people real funny, right? And they real forgetful. But at the end of the day, like I'm not that type of guy gonna let you off the hook that easy. I'm gonna hold you accountable because that's just who I am. I'm like a mirror, right? Whenever you're dealing with me, you're dealing with yourself. I'm going to help bring out the true you to you. And if you don't like what you see, then you ain't going to want to fuck with me because I am the light. And that's what I do. I help people recognize themselves. I'm like a mirror, a walking mirror. A lot of people don't like what they see in themselves. That's why they don't like me. And a lot of people only coming to check on me because they want to hear my side of the story of what somebody was saying after dealing with me. But I don't have anything to say. Let them finish telling you what the side of the story was because at the end of the day, I'm straight. Anybody cross my path, if I ever did you wrong, is because you tried me first, and you lucky I ain't finish you off. For real though. Like people love to test you, but hey, I'm a God fearing man, a loving man. But at the end of the day, I am just a man. Darkness is in me. I don't like to show that dark side of me because it doesn't service me as well. But it's a time for any and everything, right? Just like it says in the Bible, it's a time for laughter, it's a time for crying, it's a time for healing, it's a time for pain. And whenever you feel like it's time for me to fuck you up, then it's that time. But as much as depend on me, I'm a peaceful guy and I love peace and I just give it up to God. But sometimes God tell me to deal with that and I do it swiftly. Um, because the devil is running around right now and the God giving him his time to do his thing, but he's going to get dealt with. And for those of you who don't know what side you're on, you better pick a side because you don't want to be dealing with somebody else's consequences, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And the way that they do it here in the physical world, dealing with somebody else's consequences, you get locked up for being party to a crime, which I have that before. Meaning, if you witness a crime and you don't call the police, you're just as guilty. And that's the same way with our souls. If you out here, just like 50 Cent, right? You're around this guy, Diddy, So to say, you claim you know that he was doing this and doing that, but you come out with a documentary after he's locked up. So it's like you're just as guilty as this man because you won. Where was his energy when he was out doing his stuff? You know, I dropped a video. Boosie, little Boosie was like, "Man, he never invited me to the parties because he would have told." Boosie is somebody would have told on your ass. You know, he wasn't gonna sit there and watch this type of stuff going down without saying anything. That's why he was never invited to the party, and that's why I respect him. I'm not saying that he's any different than any other ones, but at the end of the day, it's just about when you're witnessing something going on and you're not saying anything, you're just as guilty. And the same way with sin, right? When you're looking for Christ and you're finding Christ and you leave your brothers behind, you're just as guilty. But at the end of the day, people have a choice, right? You should be so rooted in Christ to where this world won't shake you out of your place. It's like an apple tree, right? It's so rooted in the ground, it's so strong within what it believes in, what it know it is. Once it sprouts fruit, it sprouts apples. And it got apple seeds in those apples so that it can keep being fruitful and keep reproducing from itself, from what it is, right? That's how strong and you should be within your faith. You should be so solid in what you know that no distractions, no wind, no anything can shake you from what you are and from what you know. That's why when you come to Christ and renewing your mind from the things that you learn, you just live that. You don't run around telling everybody because not everybody is in position and or willing to hear that enlightenment that you just received. It's kind of like this, right? The world is in a darkened place. The world is asleep. People usually sleep with the lights off. They usually sleep in darkness, which is I do. You know, I'm not a robot. I can't sleep with the lights on, TV on, all this extra shit, right? But anyway, the world is asleep, and you somehow woke up. You're shining bright. You see the light like never before. With that being said, it's your job to guard your light so that the world won't dim it down. And also that you won't disturb others because they're not used to this type of brightness. You know, when they're sleeping and they wake up, they need time to adjust to this light. They need time to adjust to the different scenery. So they need time to adjust to who you are, your changes, and the light that you bring into the world. Once you go forcing on somebody, you're basically not helping them in the disturbance to them. They will have to flee from you and try to protect what they're used to, right? Which is the darkness. And with that being said, I basically just said say that to say this. Once you're on a path to change, because a lot of people won't work on themselves, they won't change. Don't go around trying to change anybody else. Just stay strong in what you know and who you are becoming. So strong to the point where people come and ask you like, hey, you know, what do you study? Who is it that you believe in? And questions like that. So then you can share your knowledge with others. On my platform that's here, this is what I do. I share my experiences and I share what I know. I don't talk about things that I believe because I'm not here to misguide anyone. I'm not sharing no experiences that I have not experienced, therefore I cannot speak on it. But anyway, it's pretty late and I'm just here expressing how I feel, you know. On my channel, that's what we do. We talk about how we feel because emotions are important. And there's nothing wrong with how you feel, you know, if you feel away or whatever, right? I'm breaking the norm for people to be hiding their feelings. If you're not man enough to speak on how you feel, then this channel ain't for you. This space ain't for you. If you not accountable, if you don't know how to be accountable, this is for you. You know, you can learn how to be a man and man up and speak on how you feel. You can speak on the things that you're inadequate about, you know, the things that make you feel incompetent because we're all babies in Christ and learning how to learn, right? It even took me some time to learn. What you don't know, you just don't know. So don't beat yourself up. We all have a learning curve. We're not competing with each other to who know what first because it don't matter, right? What matters is that you're equipped with the things you need in life to manage it and to succeed, which is tips and tools to manage stress and anxiety because there are times where it gets difficult, especially being an entrepreneur, just being a Christian, period. You have the devil all around you. This world is so demonic and it's basically like you're aloft from time to time. You don't want to be bothered with people. People don't want to come to you because you don't want to be with the mess. You know, it's like find your tribe and Uh, let me just stop right there. But anyway, right. My channel is we speak about emotional health, emotional intelligence. If you want to learn how to be emotional intelligent, I got the free blueprint down below. You go ahead and grab that. In that blueprint, I drop weekly blogs, talks with Team Angie Tuesdays and Thursdays. I just dropped one Sunday, and also I just dropped a newsletter on Sunday. So y'all might want to check that out. You get both of them in this. My email list. Join my email list right here. And that the newsletter have the blog, the blueprint blog. The newsletter has the blueprint. The blueprint is the step by step on how to start your own online business. With live mentorship, I have different programs available. Earn while you learn, pay as you go. My number one selling program is the Legacy Builders program, which comes with four streams of income. What I've learned so far in this program is how to create my own digital products. I have NFTs. I have basically digital art, and I have a course that I've created. I haven't dropped it yet, and I also created cryptocurrency. I haven't dropped my coins yet, but they're called Tay tokens, which stands for Team Angie Exclusive. Pretty dope, huh? And those probably be dropping the third quarter of this year. I'm not sure. I'm all about finances and mental health awareness. Private personal consultant. Team Angie was established 2022, September 22nd. So yeah, this is going on our fourth year, which is quite crazy. Um, just thinking about my journey, it's going on 4 years. Come September 22nd. This would be my third, no, my second. No, this would be my third annual giveaway. Come July 3rd, you'll hear more in June. For the month of June, I usually start promoting the giveaways, do cash giveaways. This will be my third year. The first year we gave away cash. This last year we did the same thing, and it's gonna be something I do every year just to show my love and appreciation to all of my supporters, all of my new subscribers. I appreciate you guys, and if you're new to my channel, Team NGLC on YouTube, all I ask that you do is subscribe to my channel. Show some love by leaving a comment, a like, or sharing my video that this may reach other people who are looking for a positive group to join, a like-minded community, exclusive community. Also, for those of you looking to make passive income online, I have multiple streams of income. I like to share one or two with you all, which is my program that I have, and also if you guys are into the markets, how I be killing the markets. I mean, I don't know if I can say that word, but crushing it. I'll be crushing the markets. I gain daily profits every day. The blueprint daily pay. Just crushed coming into this new year, do rituals or whatever, right? But as far as the money work I do from uh December 27th when it started. I want to say December 27th, maybe the 28th, but I know on the 27th is when I bought some Peppy coins, and also when I start diversing my catalog, my portfolio. Meaning I just started switching up a few different things. I didn't have one asset in the portfolio. Uh, Damn, excuse me. I started switching it up. I grabbed like 6 cryptos. So the thing about that is like you want to grab a lot. Like with XRPs, I made $20 off the XRPs the last little run they had back in September, I believe it was September, until it dropped. Then I bought in again, which was on a 28th, like $1.87. XRP. Like if I would have bought way more, like I had last time, I only bought like 20 of them, but they went up like 50 cents. So that'd be like an extra $10 within a couple days. And on my little peppies that I bought, I'm already up like $20 in profits on that. I got 6 million of those coins, which was like I bought in at like 390, down there like 400, and then within the last couple days it went up to 700, but now it's down to like six or some change. And they just getting started. Like I had some Solana as well. I bought in at 124, but I sold the Solana to get more Peppy coins, which I should have bought more XRP. So that's what I was just saying too. Like if y'all want to be some crypto millionaires, this year is the year. Every year is the year actually, but if you're not taking action, you're gonna miss that jet. Just like for the way I look at it and the way that it's going, like with the Versi tokens, I got like 20,000 of those, and I've been getting them for free. The same way that I was getting XRPs for free, which I wish I would have kept on uh, utilizing that situation because I would have been way up. And Binance US, it's an app that I use that's overseas, but now it's in America, just like Robinhood. It's in Europe, but they do it over here in America a lot. They've been doing it in America first. Then I don't know to be honest, but I know it's over there and it's over here because I go to their summits and they do a live Zoom, which they just did was back in August, I believe, the August summit of 25, and they always talking about the new things that they got going on with the app. And the reason I'm telling you all this is because the Department of Justice, if y'all knew anything about the news or legislative, like, you basically want to know how much money the government got and where they're putting the money at. And that's what I come in. That's what I be paying attention to. Like the bill, they put out bills on where they're going to be spending money and how much money is going to be going to what industry and stuff like that. But anyway, they got trillions of dollars that they're putting into tech, AI, uh, basically cryptos as well. Like y'all see Bitcoin been going up, but Bitcoin ain't the one that you should be focused on. And this is not financial advice. This is just me telling you guys an opportunity that you can check into, and you want to keep an eye on before you miss out. The way that the XRP tokens took off, which sometimes is like 2 years in a row. That's how I feel about the Peppy, right? Because I just found out about Peppy like early last year, and they was like way higher than what they is now. But now I see they're starting to pick up traction, and the government is back rolling so far as where the money goes and what they're doing with the money. But as far as everything else, I don't know, especially what they got going on. And this is why I say pick up Christ and have him in your life, because you won't have to be out here working 12 jobs, missing time with your family and friends, not knowing what you like to do with your time. Also, the thing is, like, you know, nobody can take away the knowledge from you, especially if you invest in yourself, right? What you do every day anyway. Like if you got a job, you invest your time, your efforts, your energy into going to make that check. This is something you can do on the side, the same way that you do for anybody else. Like you want to put yourself in positions where you have your own assets, you have a piece of something. Just like if you got gold, right? Gold or silver is really important because gold has been booming, and you want to have some type of value, right? You want to have some type of assets, and we're gonna talk about values and assets in a bit. Maybe not in this segment, but the difference is an asset is something that holds value. A liability is something that takes away value. So gold, right? Gold goes up and down, but gold is valuable. You can use gold to purchase other things. Now, if you purchase cigarettes, that's a liability. It don't adds any value. You know, it ain't worth much, but a little stress relief if you look at it that way. The same way as candy and or food, you could say food because it's a nourishment. You don't need a whole lot of it to resell it or to go bad or whatever. Right? Like it's not looked at as a real asset. It's a necessity. So that's just the different little things like a commodity, right? A commodity is different from an asset, but it could be an asset. A commodity is this something you purchase once and it basically generates money back for you, like a camera, right? You could buy a camera one time and use that camera to freelance photos, and you'll never have to buy another camera again unless you want to. But you purchase it one time, and that one purchase is enough for you to get the use out of this thing, and to make your money back. So that's a commodity. Just like we're not going to get into all these things, but anyway, you want to have some type of knowledge on these type of things, right? You want to have access to these things and have them in your possession. The thing about digital, the way the world is going digital, you don't have to have things physically in your hands, but to have access to these things and to have possession of them, you do want to have a crypto wallet to where you can put these assets in, and also you want to have a little bit of knowledge on how to obtain these things, meaning like different platforms to purchase different things like NFTs, non-fungible tokens, or ETFs, which is like XRPs, cryptos, different cryptos, right, like Bitcoin and stuff. And the reason I say that is to say this, like those assets that sit there, you don't have to worry about storage space, everything like that, but they grow over time. Just like I was telling you about the Versi tokens or the XRPs, I'm getting those assets for free just by utilizing this app that they have it on. So by the time it breaks out to the dollar or whatever, however much, right, I'll have that free 20,000 just sitting there. And the same is with these ones that's on my other wallets. Just waiting on the prices, right? Just like XRP 2 years ago, it wasn't worth anything. It wasn't really heard about. Well, it has always been heard about for those of you who are into this type of situation as far as the digital come up in the world, right? Just like I'm telling you about the Versi tokens, not much is being said or heard, but come next year you might hear Versi tokens just like you're hearing XRP this year, which I believe, and this is not financial advice, that XRP is going to go up to about $5 or 10 by the end of the year. Maybe sooner than that. I don't know. Anything's possible within the digital world because it's more hands that has access to it. And that's the reason why the world is going digital because they're tired of the game being unfair to where the American dollar used to be head dollar, top dollar, but now it's losing so much value to where the American dollar won't be worth anything. And this is no cap. You can look at the American dollar now, and it's not the top dollar anymore. It's the dinero. Euro is more than the American dollar, and I think the American dollar is like third or fourth in value now compared to the world's currencies. So within the next couple of years, the American dollar ain't gonna be worth much at all, right? I'm just warning you guys, and this isn't no fear tactic or nothing like that. Like they just dropped a news article that everything is going to be going tokenized, and what that means is they're going to be digitalizing things. You can purchase things digitally now. So like if I was to put my portfolio tokenized, that mean I would have my company for sale as far as a token. You could purchase it like that, and so much other things, right? Like a house, a refrigerator, sort of like different things tokenized, and you can use tokens as far as cryptocurrency to purchase these tokens, and you will have that asset within your little um, crypto wallet or whatever, right? Um, Coin tracker, I use that to basically keep track on my losses and my gains, and so that I can get my 1099, my tax forms. A 1099 is an investor form that you get when you do stocks, when you do cryptos, when you do any type of freelance or contractual work through a different company or something like that, right? Like if you do hair, you do nails or whatever, you make however your POS, your point of sales, whatever you use, right? If you use Cash App, if you use a different thing, there's different other things. And I've been learning this stuff as a business owner. You have different devices, different payment options and gateways, right? Because you want to get paid for your services. Just like I was telling y'all, people know that I have a product and services that they don't want to pay me. They want to go around my services to fuck around and find out like, hey, you only playing yourself and wasting your own time. I'm nice, but I ain't no fool and I ain't no dummy and I ain't no slave. Nah, I heard working for free. You been, but hey, I'm not gonna sit here and hold you guys. I just appreciate you guys' time and rocking with your boy. All of my new subscribers, peace and blessings. Much love to you all. May this year be more than abundant. May this year be peaceful and prosperous to you all and your families. May you be full of good health, more wealth, and everything that you desire in life. may it be added unto you. Happy Wednesday again, Feliz Marcoles, and peace and blessings to all of you. Let me make sure real quick that it's Wednesday. This year, dog, like coming in the year, coming in the month, coming in the week, in the winter time, the middle of the week. It's just weird. Like I haven't really like grasped the feeling of this new year, this new week, everything. Right? I feel like I'm just waiting on something big to happen. Like it's just a weird time for me right now. It just don't feel right. Like my spirit is like energized, but I'm just off balance right now. Like the days don't feel like the days. The timing seems off. Like if we just slip through a portal and I'm just trying to catch up to the reality that they're saying that this is because it don't feel like it what it is. Like usually I have a good sense of everything. I know what time of day it is. I know what day of the week it is. I know what month it is. I know what season I'm in. I can kind of usually tell even what degrees it is. But it's just like I'm in this dream world just waiting for something real to let me know that this is real. Uh, Maybe I might not get that. Maybe it might come in another shocker when because this $1 million is coming in. I'm gonna have so many millions and it's just gonna be feeling like this until I really just wake the fuck up and just own it, right? But until that moment comes, I'm just gonna be, I guess, daydreaming. Daydreaming about what's going on and what I need to be doing with my time and energy. That's why I'm up right now. Like I can't let this moment slip past without putting out positive vibes and letting my legacy go on. This is what Team Angie Legacy is about. So whenever you see me online, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about spirituality, talking about mindset, talking about mental health, which is a big part of mindset. A failure is only someone who believes that they can't achieve it and they won't try again. But like I read to you guys, like failure is a part of success. Failure is the biggest part of success because without failure, you don't know what you're capable of. Without failure, you don't know how to adjust. Without failure, you don't learn anything. If everybody was to get everything right on the first try, they'd have no type of passion. Only those who fail and try again are passionate, and those people who live with purpose. And that purpose is to keep doing what they're doing. Despite how many times they fall, they get back up and keep going. So let this be an inspiration to you that your failure is not who you are and it's not who you're meant to be. It's not all that you're going to experience. As long as you get back up and keep trying. And know that Team Angie is here with you, behind you, pushing you forward, waiting on you to succeed because we believe in you. And to let you know that your failure is not final. And also that you don't have to suffer in silence if you are failing time and time again. You just need a little live mentorship to help you get on your feet, get your mind right, and also to have some type of goals. Being an entrepreneur, sometimes you have to readjust, you have to make new goals. But I really wanted to title this video was what bus are you getting on? And it's a real serious question, not physically but mentally. Like, where are you headed? Are you going to run with the rest of the world with the easy route because somebody's took off and that looks so easy? Or are you going to hop on that slow bus where the destination is final, but nevertheless, it takes a little while to get there because we're taking a little slower route, a little scenic route. Everybody on this bus is in their own little zones. Everybody is like ready for game time, however people prep. But we're all in this together, nevertheless. And that's the thing of life, right? What buses are you on? Make sure that you're not getting on buses with people that's not going to be headed in the same direction as you. Meaning, like, who are the people that you're going to celebrate life with? The people that you surround yourself with is important. The people that you call your friends is important. That's what bus I'm talking about. The bus you may have been on so far have been full of people that don't see your vision, don't believe in your goals, maybe not the best people for you in life. Therefore, you got to take this next stop and get off. Wait on the next bus when we coming to pick you up. You could be around like-minded individuals where we meet twice a week and we just stay on what we on. And that's leaving a legacy behind. That's being equipped with tips and tools to manage stress and anxiety, not allowing the world, people, or places to weigh us down. And it's also not suffering in silence, talking about what we feel, being able to recognize the triggers that flip us off the handle, if not control, right? If not recognized. So yeah, we learn these type of things. We talk about these type of things so that we can be equipped to handle the world. And that's what we do here. We put out positive vibes because the energy never lies. You know a person by their fruits. And we are fruitful people here. We like to manifest the best things in life, to be the best people for ourselves and for others. And with that being said, I just appreciate you all for tuning in. And if you're new to my channel, you want to join the family and become a member, all you do is subscribe. It's free. But if you want exclusive content, if you want to know more about me and what I do, you can always subscribe to my Facebook page where I drop daily posts, exclusive content, and a lot of different stuff on the mind of who I am and what I'm more so interested in.